My name is Ed Frawley. My wife and I own Leerburg. This is an interesting podcast that we put together this week. Cindy and I have a good friend, Joaquim Dovat from Switzerland. Joaquim is probably one of the top decoys in the United States right now. And I know there are a lot of good decoys in the United States, but I personally don't know anybody that's better than Joaquim because of the experience that he's had for the last 23 years being a decoy in Switzerland and in European countries. Joaquim specializes in young dogs. He specializes in decoying for the Mondioring sport. This is going to be a 4-part podcast because 2 years ago, before COVID, Joaquim came to our house and we had 3 or 4 seminars in that summer. And it was just great. We had heard about Joaquim for years from friends of ours that had gone over and watched him do decoy work. So we decided to meet him back in 2018 and 19, and he gives great seminars. And we hope to be able to work together. Both he and I want to work together on some online courses that'll be coming up in the future. But I think it is important for people to understand the background and the experience of people that they choose to learn how to do dog training from. And in Joaquim's place, people need to know his background in doing decoy work because it's very impressive. The thing that really impresses Cindy and I about Joaquim is what a nice guy he is. There's no ego involved with Joaquim and his work. He just loves training dogs and he lets his work speak for himself. Now, I'll just say this, having been around the biting dog sports since 1973, a lot of times when you have decoys that get reasonably good, it seems to swell their head. Their head gets a little bit big. Their ego takes over and it changes their personality. That has not happened to Joaquim. It's so important. It is important to me because it's the kind of person that I want to be around and it's the kind of person that I want to work with. And the last thing I want to say about Joaquim is that he is a teaching decoy. And I should preface that by talking about the difference between a trial decoy and a teaching decoy. When people want to learn how to be a decoy, they can become a good trial decoy in several years. 2, 3, not 2 years, probably 3 or 4 years. But to become a teaching decoy, in my opinion, in most cases takes 10 years, maybe 15 years to be a good teaching decoy. One thing I learned from the podcast that we're going to show you is that in Switzerland, they had 2 levels of certification for decoy. They have a trial decoy and they have a teaching decoy certification. And Joaquim is right at the top of the teaching decoy certification. And as you listen to this podcast, you're going to know why. So again, this is part 1 of a 4-part podcast. So today we have a very interesting guest at Leerburg. Joaquim Dovat is a friend of ours and who is a world-class decoy from Switzerland. And I thought that people would find it interesting to talk to somebody that Cindy and I consider one of the finest training decoys for dog sports, or even his experience in the military with military dogs. And I thought it would be interesting to kind of pick his brain on how he came to be as good as he is today. He lives in Las Vegas now for a few years, and he's in the United States as a dog trainer, and he won't stay here forever. He gives decoys seminars and dog training seminars all over the country, really all over the world. He's given seminars in China and in the Philippines and in different countries in Europe. Hasn't been to Australia yet, but he really wants to go. So if anybody's in Australia and they want a really good seminar on decoy work,
Looking for me?
we'll put his email there and you can talk to him. But just to give you a feel for the experience of Joaquim is I'll tell you a little bit about, because I've taken notes here, and Cindy and I know him very well. He's been to our house a number of times. Before COVID, he did 3 or 4 seminars here at Leerburg, and not big, huge seminars. I'm talking seminars where we only took in like 10 dogs, because that's a lot of suit work, and that's really all one decoy can do in a day. And especially somebody like Joaquim, who spends so much time with each of the dog handlers that have come into these seminars. But a little bit of background on him is he started dog training in the 1990s, and we'll talk about that in a few minutes. He went into the Swiss military in 2000 and got into the Swiss military dogs in 2003. Got interested in the ring sport, basically Mondioring sport, in the 2000s, and he was twice the #1 decoy in super selection for the decoys for the FCI for the World Championships for Mondioring. And he was one time, he finished second for super selection for the FCI in the Mondioring World Championships. And I want to be sure I have this correctly, because he was 3 times in the decoy selection for the FMBB, 2 Bs in that. And that's a very, very large club in Europe for the Belgian Shepherds. And the Belgian Shepherds include Belgian ring, like Mondioring, Treverns, Grenadales, and I always have a problem saying this,
Lekenois.
Lekenois.
Correct.
Lekenois. I got to put a lick in there, Lekenois. So that is a huge club over there, and he was one of the selected decoys for their World Championships too. But getting started on this, why don't you tell us, Joaquim, how you gotten started in dogs? When did you get started in dogs? Because right now you're 43 years old?
Yeah, 43. Yeah. Wait, maybe more. No, 44.
Yeah, that's terrible.
Yeah.
I know. I was there many years ago. How did you get started? How old were you when you got involved?
I started in 1889. I had 21 years old. 21 years old.
Uh-huh.
And it was a small town with a small club. And I remember on this time with my girlfriend, she had a German Shepherd. And I was not very interested about dog, you know. And she go to the club, and then she have the regular club, and she have a section for Mondioring, and she meet the decoy, the trainer, and she say, hey, come with me, check, you know. I say, okay, why not? I want to see. And it was fun because I saw the dog bite, and was, yeah, that's different perspective to see the dog. And the guy said, you want to try the sub? I said, why not, you know? 21 years old, this can be fun. And I put the sub on, you have a good dog, good grip, fast enough. And the first time, I was loved that.
Yeah?
Oh yeah, I like the decoy walk is different to handling a dog, because it's the challenge to teach the dog properly way, to target the dog. I love the physical way too.
Yeah.
I'm a walker a bit. And during the training, you train maybe 4 or 5 different personality of dog.
Yeah.
Like if you are just with your dog, it's just you and your dog.
Yeah.
Decoy walk is more bigger and fun.
Did he, when you first started, did the dog take you down? Did the dog
Not the
knock you-
first time, the second time.
The second time he took you down?
The first time he did just with the leash, took maybe
Yeah.
3 feet bite.
Yeah.
And was like, yeah, easy. And the second time he pushed me a little bit more, and yeah, I felt confident.
I have a funny story because back in 1978, I went to a Schutzhund seminar in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. And the German guy that was there, Fritz Bieler, had won the German Bundesliga, which was the world champion Schutzhund competition. And his dog was there. Enno Antreftal was the #1 dog in, I want to say, 1974. And the year before, he had just won with his second dog who he had there. Well, wasn't a decoy seminar, but it was a training seminar, and these people started saying, oh, that's Schutzhund, they just bite on a sleeve. No, 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 they bite on a jacket and the body and everywhere. And they were kind of kidding him, and he says, hey, you, and he points at me, get in that suit. What? I was like your age when you started, So he takes me aside, and we get out on this field at Paul Hambach's place in Milwaukee. And he takes me aside and he says, look, you're going to be okay here. I said, yeah. He said, whatever you do, don't fall down. Really? He said, just run as fast as you can run. So, okay, I get about 50 yards away from him, and I'm scared shitless now, and I think I'm going to get hurt. And he sends this dog, and he hit me at a full speed. He hit me in the shoulder, and he bit me right in the shoulder, and he drove me into the ground, and I'm laying on the ground, and I turn around, and I look like this, and this dog's got his head right here, and he's looking me right in the eye. And I said, please don't hurt me. He was a great dog. He was a safe dog, a total safe dog. But I always remember those moments because that reminded me why I wasn't good enough to be a decoy. That was the end of my decoy career.
The beginning and the
serious part. So going on for you then, so you got interested in what happened to the German Shepherd? Where'd that one go?
We trained for 1 year. It was a standout German Shepherds, and we do the X-ray.
Yeah.
And it was terrible.
Oh, bad hips.
Bad hips, very bad hips, and we need to stop him for the sport.
Yeah.
And after that, I say I don't want the German Shepherds anymore.
Yeah, that's too bad.
It's bad. We spent 1 year, it was
And then
the
what did
first
you
dog.
get? And then what?
What?
Then what did you get for a dog after that? Malinois?
Malinois, it was, but after I just do my decoy walk.
Oh.
I stay in the club for 3-4 years.
Oh.
I stayed longer, and I was just be a decoy.
Okay,
I have no
so you
interest
just
to
didn't
handling
even have a
the
dog. You just learned how to be a decoy.
Yeah, I like to, step by step, and I want to put my energy to be a decoy. We're traveling a lot in Belgium because on this time, Switzerland, it was nothing on the dog sport.
Yep.
But IGP, yeah, but Mondioring, it was
Yep.
the beginning.
And IGP, for those that don't know, when I started in the dog sport, it was Schutzhund, and then they changed it to IGP. I don't even know what IGP stands for. Do you? What's it mean?
I don't know.
I don't know
it's
either.
IPO. IPO.
IPO, yeah.
Yeah, no,
I
it
remember
changed.
it was Schutzhund, it was IPO, and then it was IGP.
Yeah,
I don't know. So
Commercial.
then you were in it strictly doing decoy work and going around to seminars or to clubs doing club decoy work. Is that what you were doing?
yeah, club, and we go to Belgium. We find Filippo Rocchi, a very good trainer on this time, and we train with him. We touch a little bit the Belgium ring because it was Belgium ring,
Yeah.
And I learned a lot.
From the Belgian ring guys.
Yeah, for the Belgium ring. I have the full grip, the
Yeah,
comfortability.
they have great dogs, don't they?
Yeah, that's.
I love it. They have the best gripping dogs anywhere. It's natural gripping
Natural
dogs.
gripping,
Really
yeah, and the
cool
selection
dogs.
is for that. And the environmental distraction, the obstacle, the
Yep.
water, the pool, it's a nice spot.
I've always wondered why Belgian ring, Mondioring came to the United States. Belgian ring never came to the United States. French ring came to the United States. I don't know why Belgian ring never got popular in America, because it's a great dog sport.
Yeah.
And I think the French ring and the Mondioring decoys have to be much better than the Belgian ring decoys, don't you think?
Yeah, because it's the grip.
Yeah.
You have some point for the grip.
Yep,
And
yep,
the decoy
yep.
need give the grip for the judge can see if
Right.
it's full grip or if you bite on 2 times.
It seems like the Mondioring and the French ring decoy work, though, is more athletic.
Yeah.
Don't you think? You have to be more skilled, I think, in how to
Okay.
catch
Yeah,
dogs.
and the dog can bite everywhere.
Yeah.
Belgian ring, you have the pieces of jut on the legs or on the arm.
Sure.
And the dog need bite there.
Right.
Mondioring or French ring, it just